the man, the myth, the legend. We all know him. He's on top of the arena point leaderboard. And of course, it is Mars. So he currently has 155,000 arena points. And we are all wondering, how did he do it? Well, I analyzed his games and I will tell you everything I learned from him. Like literally, this video is packed full of insane information that you must know. For example, his drop spots, his loadouts, how he plays early game, mid game, and end game, and everything in between. So if you're not in champs yet, or just simply want to learn how he reached the top of the leaderboards in both arena and tournaments, well, this is a video just for you. This video did take a while to make, so if you could leave a like right now, I would highly appreciate it. And of course, also subscribe if you haven't already. But okay, there's no time for self-promoting. Let's jump into this video. So about Mars, he is on 40 ping. That is right, boys. He is not a 0 ping warrior. So on stream he said that he lives in Central America, which yes, they do get 40 to 50 ping, because I mean I live in Central America as well. So like most people think, you do not have to be on 0 or like 20 ping if you want to pop off in arena and tournaments. Because if you didn't know, Mars actually got first place in the last DreamHack. As you can see, he's on top with 293 points. And also, his mechanics are not the best. Like, don't get me wrong, they are pretty good, but they are not on like Mongol or Benji level. So again, how does Mars do it? So first, let's go over the question I asked him on stream. And that is, how big are your feet? And well, this is what he said.
Auto click. I have no clue, bro. I have no clue how big my feet are, bro.
Okay, no, but for real though, let's go over how he does it. So first I will cover what I learned from watching his streams and analyzing his games, and then I will go over where he actually drops and how he wins that drop spot every single time, and also how he wins mid-game and end-game fights. So definitely make sure to stick around until the end, because this video will improve your gameplay. So up first is his aim. So as you can see, he has OW in his name, and that stands for Overwatch. So he used to play Overwatch, which of course requires a lot of aim. So he was able to transfer that aim from Overwatch to Fortnite, and because of that he can absolutely destroy people. And by the way, yes, he is keyboard and mouse. Now there's two things that are super weird about his aim. If you watch his gameplay, his aim is super shaky. So whenever he's in a close counter fight, his screen is always so shaky, but he still manages to hit his shots. Oh, and by the way, this is his DPI and mouse sensitivity, so I would not recommend copying someone's settings. Just because the player is good, you can definitely become insane with your own settings. Unless of course they're super scuffed, but probably you're fine. But anyways, back to Mars. Another thing that is super odd about his aim is that he ADS's when he's using his AR, or of course an SMG. Now I wouldn't actually recommend doing this, but the reason he does it is because he's so used to his Overwatch aim that ADSing actually helps him a lot. Now as for the game mode and what you should play in arena, well, he plays mostly solos, because that is the easiest way to get the most amount of points, since each elimination is 20 points and you don't have to eliminate a whole trio. Okay, but now let's go over his drop spots and how he wins his fights. So first, let's start off with his ideal loadouts. So it is usually a pump, an AR, 2 heals, and 1 mobility. And as for the mobility, well, he prefers shockwaves over crash pads. So if he can, and if he finds shockwaves over crash pads, he will almost always take it. And of course that is because you can use shockwaves much easier than crash pads. Like you can literally go through builds with shockwaves. And of course we will see how he does it in the end game. Okay, so if we go in game, we can actually see exactly where he goes. So this right here is the battle map, and well, as we can see, he drops at craggy cliffs. And this is exactly how he does it. So up first, he drops at this house over here. Then he rotates through these houses over here. So as we can see, he picked a corner of craggy cliffs, and he's able to get at least 5 houses for free. So basically he controls this whole area right here. And also, if he wanted to, he can also loot this building right here. But of course, as we all know, there's rifts now. And well, he uses those rifts to rotate through other places, so he can get even more loot. So in tournaments, he basically never fights in early game. Now in arena, yes, he does, and I will go over how he does it in a second. But let's just take a look where he rifts. So boom, as we can see, he rifts to this gas station over here. Well, I don't know if it's a gas station. No, it's not actually. But yeah, he goes to that building right there. And he's able to farm so much metal through this bridge. And of course, he can easily get full wood through all of these trees. So because of those rifts all around, he can easily move around the map super fast. And of course, if he sees a spot that is unlooted, well, he can simply go to that spot and boom, that is free loot for him. Okay, now let's jump into his early game fights and how he's able to win basically every single early game fight there is. So as we can see, he basically has 700 mats already. This is an absolutely insane advantage against anyone else in these early game fights. So let's take this fight as an example. So as we can see, he's sneaking up on a guy who is fishing. And I mean, just take a look at his mats again. They're basically full. No one has full mats at this point except him. So basically what he's doing right here is he's pressuring the opponent and making him waste mats. And notice how he does it. Look how far he stands back. He's so careful about it. And this guy will eventually run out of mats. So right here, the opponent does run out of mats basically, and what he does is just jumps on him, and well, it's free shots for him because the opponent cannot defend himself. And just take a look, I mean, the opponent could not do anything with no mats. And he does this constantly, like every single early game, he gets as many mats as he can possibly get, and when he gets into a fight, he wastes all of his opponent's mats, and then he goes in for those shots. Okay, but now let's move on to his mid-game fights. And when it comes to mid-game fights, well, he doesn't actually take them. No matter what tournament it is, he will not take mid-game fights. So basically what this allows him to do is have insanely stacked loot for endgame, because he knows he will have shield and mats for endgame. And that is where he gets most of his eliminations. But from watching his mid-games, we can still learn. So if we take a look at the zone right now, as we can see, it pulls kinda center of the map, well, more like bottom right. And of course, we all know that he lands in Dirty Docks. Yeah, what's up, this autoclick from the future. I meant Craggy Cliffs, not Dirty Docks. This is him right here, Mars OW. So take a look how he rotates. He doesn't just simply take the rift and go straight to zone. Nah, bro. He goes around to the right, because he knows this side will be basically the dead side of the zone. And I mean, it's basically true. As we can see, there's basically no one on this side right here. Yeah, there are a bunch of players rotating in, but if we compare to this side, it is super congested here. So by going to the dead side of the zone, he can avoid most of the players, therefore not having to waste shield or mats. And now finally, let's go over his endgame and how he's able to get so many eliminations in the endgame. So if we take a look at his loader right now, we can see that he has 3 shockwaves and 3 crash pads. So boom, he's able to capitalize on those movements just like that. Beautiful. It is so easy to rotate with all this mobility. And now of course, as you get into zone, you can just simply look back on any possible eliminations. And whenever he has to move, he simply uses all those mobility items first before using his mats. So he's gonna use another shockwave, and then I guarantee you he's gonna look back on any potential eliminations you can get. So just like that, he's actually able to get high ground from this. So he pressures the guy who was on high ground, and boom, he gets height. And of course, well, from there you can just simply dominate from high ground, just beaming people down low. But yeah, basically what you need to know from his gameplay is that he uses all of his mobility first before using any mats. And then once he does get into zone with those mobility items, he can just simply look back on any potential eliminations he can get. So it is as simple as that. It is not complicated at all. He's not zero ping. He doesn't take walls and one pump everyone super quick. Nah, bro. Yeah, that's basically how he wins all of his tournaments. And of course, how he gets that first place in arena. But yeah, boys, I hope you did learn something from this video. Of course, if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And also make sure to follow my Twitch down below in the description. And lastly, use code KINGCAST-YT in the item shop. But that's gonna be the end of this video. Peace out.